Who is really Joe Biden? Is he really senile? Or is that a strategy to win a high-anticipated prize among the elites of the world? During 2 years, we investigated in order to answer these questions. We followed him everywhere, and we discovered the shocking truth, a truth that will resonate on all the democracies.
It might sound like a fake news, but Biden is absolutely not senile. During one of our documentary back in 2023, we followed him at the BWPFFOC, a ceremony organized each year by the NGO Better World and Prosperous Future for Our Children, rewarding the personalities that reflected the state of mind of the elites of this world, a state of mind often described as expressed by a bunch of and imposed on all of us. Being a candidate that year, however, he narrowly lost to a strong opponent. He was seen as the lucky winner, closely followed by Macron for his empathetic words, his intelligence, and his unparalleled competence, and Boris Johnson for his wonderful work during COVID. Unfortunately, the Egyptian president beat them all in one go during one of his speeches, which will remain forever etched in stone. Biden is not senile. No, he is a candidate who did not digest his failure on the 2023 BWPFFOC. That is why he is doing everything to win this year. This is also why recently the president of the USA upped the ante and offered us quality remarks such as having confused the Egyptian president with the Mexican president. Feeling proud to have been, I quote, the first black woman having worked alongside the first black president, to have confused Iraq and Iran, to have confused Putin and Zelensky, and recently referring to his Secretary of Defense as the black man. But without further ado, here is part of our coverage back in 2023.
Just before the awards ceremony, we asked if we could visit the kitchen to do some footage to illustrate the context. After making some sequences, we took the opportunity to ask a few questions to the cooks and to the waiters. Despite their workload, some of them agreed to answer our questions. The only condition was that we do not identify them in the documentary. Thinking that our camera was off, they ended up mentioning the existence of an unofficial bet on the winner of the ceremony. The total amount raised in this kitchen alone would be $100,000, an amount that we couldn't verify, but which would be a nice jackpot for anyone who wins this bet. Here is the very interesting exchange of two of them, comparing their choices.
Are you putting all your tip from last night on him? You seem very confident. You know something. Tell me.
I just feel it, you know. He broke all records.
Yeah? Well, I bet on Biden. He's an international champion.
Oh, yes?
Yes, ma'am. His pearls are legendary. Last month, during a NATO summit, he named the Ukrainian president Vladimir while describing his courage and intelligence. It hasn't escaped anyone's notice that the Russian who is at war with Ukraine is called Vladimir.
Yeah, but it's not all that big of a deal. The Ukrainian president's name is Volodymyr. I mean, you can confuse Vladimir with Volodymyr.
Okay. But what do you say about that? He confused Iraq and Ukraine.
What?
He said, Putin is clearly losing the war in Iraq.
You're not serious.
I'm not kidding. What's wonderful about him is that it's not over. He said in front of everyone, at the start of the war between Ukraine and Russia, that Putin may be surrounding Kiev with his tanks, but he will never win the hearts of the Iranian people.
What do you mean, Iranian? What do Iranians have to do with this?
Exactly. Nothing. Nada. Zero. He is absolutely out of his mind. But above all, he's the one in charge of the nuclear button.
Yeah. Still, he doesn't exceed mine.
Who's yours?
Sisi.
Okay, but what's his name?
No, his name is Sisi.
And what did this guy do?
He had a memorable speech.
Just one speech?
Only one. But you'll see. Quality will win, not quantity.
Ladies and gentlemen, my dear guests, the time has come to discover the person who represented us best for the 2023 BWPFF OC Award. who went above and beyond to represent and to show to the whole world the attitude and the philosophy to adopt for a better world and a prosperous future for our children. With more than 95% of the votes, it is the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi who wins the 2023 trophy. A round of applause for him, please. Let's listen without further ado to some of the sentences that allowed him to win this 111th ceremony.
Don't dare say that you would prefer to eat rather than build progress. If the price of the progress and prosperity of the nation is to be hungry and thirsty, then let us not eat or drink. I'll give you an example of how this could be done. University students could earn a respectable salary by donating blood twice a week. Do not undermine the goal of our nation. Do not make us the laughingstock of the whole world. Pull yourself together and transform the cruel circumstances we are experiencing into an opportunity. The sooner you pull yourself together, the sooner the economic crisis will disappear. I consulted the Supreme Judicial Council about being able to easily destroy our country by giving tramadol to just 100,000 people in poverty. It would only cost us $30 billion.